Good morning. Happy Fri-Yay. Today is August 12th, 2022. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. Get my Fri-Yay mug. See that? Good morning, John. Not going to lie. I kind of want to go back to bed. I often want to go back to bed. I like bed. It's comfortable. It's warm. It's 50 degrees outside right now. How crazy is that? Wasn't that long ago that it was really, really hot, and now it's kind of cool. Good morning, Stacy. Stacy's on Twitch today. Thank you. Throwing some followers in from Twitch. I appreciate it. And Dennis, who already sent me some jokes, which I appreciate, says, did somebody say Fri-Yay? Woo! Hold on. Nope. My throat's not going to let me do it today. Woo! Sort of. And good morning to Frank, dropping another happy Fri-Yay in there. Well, I hope you had a great Thursday. I hope you did check out that episode of Martial Arts Radio we did, which, honestly applies to things beyond martial arts. That episode that we did, Andrew and I, on training while you're severely injured. It's important. How do you make the best of it? Well, that's what we talked about. And Stacy's dropping a woo as well. No, I could tell if I try to woo, it's just going to scratch. So we're not going to do it. Other than that, had a whole bunch of meetings yesterday. Mostly, I did have some reschedules and a no-show, which was kind of a bummer. Good morning, Gad. Good morning, Nathan. One of the things I'm going to say, and I think I can say this because I'm assuming that the person who no-showed isn't going to watch this, but I suppose they could in the future. So I'm going to be very open and very honest. I don't chase people to do things for them. I don't chase people to do favors for them. I don't chase people to do business with them. If I have to chase you, history has taught me it's not going to work out well. And if the only reason we're going to get from where we are to where I'm trying to go and you say you want to go is from me putting in all the effort, it's not going to work. And I'm not even going to go in. I'm not going to start because my reputation means something. And if I start a project with someone and that project fails because that person doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, I don't look good. And I've wasted my time and energy. So this is one of the many ways that I filter people out. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. I was very clear with them. I said, look, I know I don't drop balls. I do my part 100% of the time. I'm putting the ball back in your court for the next step. And we will see where that takes us. And he understood. But the other person, I didn't get a chance to have that conversation. And honestly, I don't think I would have had that conversation. It's a little bit too direct to say, you're trying to make me do your part. And I'm not willing to do that. Good morning, Jenny. So here we are. It's Friday, finishing out another week. And I'm curious what you got going on. What are you looking forward to today and this weekend? Training, tournament, what's going on? While I'm thinking of it, no show next Friday because I will be traveling and I'll be on the West Coast and I'm not getting up at 3:30. And I don't think we can do one. And I will be on a plane on Thursday. So next week, no show. Thursday or Friday. Okay. That's just how it's going to have to be. You'll have to get together yourselves. I know you've done it before. I hope you will do it again. I thought that was awesome. Hello, Brian. Gad's asking, is there any proxy host? I hadn't even considered that. I'll tell you what. If anybody out there wants to be substitute first cup host, I want you to reach out to me. We can talk about it. I'm open to the idea. Stacy says, no 3:30 a.m. show? Slacker. Ha. And you know, the sad part is there's a good chance that I'll be awake. And if I am awake, I will do a show. You'll see a notification. But Thursday I'll be on a plane. And the idea of being on a 6 a.m. flight and talking like this from the sky, I mean, maybe I'll do it. I doubt it. I've never tried to do video streaming from the air. Has anybody here done video streaming from the air? Is the latency good enough? Can you do it? I don't even think the plane I'm going to be on is going to have good enough Wi-Fi. It's all the planes out of Burlington are tiny, and they use low-end equipment. So this weekend, Dennis is looking forward to Superfoot training with Andrew and Sarah tonight, and going to Keene tomorrow to train with Daryl. Awesome. There's a bunch of people that I think the world of in that list. I was not double booked this weekend, not even triple booked this weekend. I was quintuple booked this weekend. There are so many things going on, and I'm going to be spending the time taking my nephew hiking. It's something he's never really done, something I enjoy. He wants to learn, like, what's hiking really about? He's 17. He's a great kid. So he'll come over tomorrow and we'll probably hike Stowe Pinnacle for you local folks, see how he does, and then we'll figure out what we're doing on Sunday based on how he feels when he wakes up. Because he may be fried after just that. I don't know. He's an active kid, but hiking's different. Brian says, good morning, all. We pick up Devlin from camp this afternoon. Few birthday parties to bring our daughter to. Birthday card parade on Sunday for my grandmother's 91st. Might go to the track Saturday night. Brian, where do you go to the track? What track are we talking about? Because back when I had my sports car, I didn't know that there was a track near enough that one could go and drive fast. Because that would have been a lot of fun. Car Parade, Bear Ridge. Okay. I got a rough idea where that is. Actually, I've been by that place. Today, a couple meetings, a bunch of other stuff. It's a lot of little stuff. I try to leave my Fridays pretty open as catch up and everything. Because inevitably I bite off more than I can chew for a week and see what I can do. I updated here's the type of stuff I worked on yesterday. For anybody who wonders, what does Jeremy do all day? It took 2 months to get to it, at least. But I went into the email sequence that people get. It was 4 emails. Now it's 3. When you sign up for the Whistlekick newsletter, which is the way you get your one-time best discount that we do. So I finally got to go in there and clean that up a little bit and simplify it and take my newer, more modern understanding of both Whistlekick and marketing and apply it to those emails. I was going to put the flexibility program behind that sort of email wall. But as I got in there and looked at doing it, I was like, it's going to get lost in here. I don't want to do this. So there we go. Jenny says, yesterday was Lil's birthday. Happy birthday, Lil. This weekend, I need to get caught up on housework and relax. I need a break. I can feel it. I can empathize with that. Ryan says, there's an SCCA event in Rutland for autocross soon. I don't know that acronym for that organization. Cross country automobiles? Sounds interesting. And the other thing I'm doing, this morning is I'm planning out Sports Car Club of America. There you go. So Labor Day weekend and the week leading up to it, I'm more or less off. I will be doing the first cup through the week. So that's not an issue. I may or may not do it Labor Day Monday. We'll have to see. I'm taking that day off because I need some time. But I'm planning out what I'm doing because a big part of what I'm doing is I'm going away to plan the fall and winter apparel lines. Yes, that's my version of vacation, is I go elsewhere and work. But there's also some other things, some personal things I want to get done in there. So I'm going to look at my calendar and a map with a fresh set of eyes and figure out the best plan logistically. Let's see where that takes me. Everybody's wishing Lilith happy birthday. She's a cute kid. She is. Free training day logos are done. They're awesome. I'm super excited. And, you know, it's funny because we're doing the 3. There are things that I would do for that people could kind of collect, but I'm the only one who's going to go to all 3. So I don't think I'm going to do that. You know? And it reminds me. So back, I did a Spartan race. Wow, 2014. It was supposed to be a 5K. It turned out to be like 5.5 miles. And I gave someone one of my knee braces because she signed up for the race without letting everyone in the group know that she had knee problems. And let's just say it didn't go well for me or her. Everybody was a train wreck. But at the end, they have the sprint, the ultra, and the beast. 3 different distances. And you get a different medal for each. And they made a big deal out of that. And each medal was a third of a circular medal. And so you could buy things to set them into so you could display that, yes, I did all 3 of these crazy things. Beast being about 13 miles. And they even have an ultra beast that's 2 laps. And the death race, which was the original impetus for the Spartan race, is actually from right here in Vermont. And I know 2 people who did it back then. And they have some crazy stories. Crazy stories about the death race. Anyway, I wanted to do something like that, but until we get to a point where people are traveling around and doing different free training days, although I know at least one person who's going to 2 of them besides me. So I'm excited for that. Good morning, Mark. Love you guys. I love the support. I love the kind words that go back and forth. Is it joke time? I think it's joke time. So let's see who sent me jokes. I know, hey, somebody just ordered the Flex program. Was it one of you? Let's find out. I won't tell everyone. It was one of you. That's fun. All right. So the only one who sent me jokes that I see is Dennis. So shout out and thank you to Dennis for making sure I had some jokes. If anybody had some that they hadn't sent me, now is the time. And this makes me really happy. Jenny says, when Lilith is older, I have no problem traveling around to the free training days as your tour manager, because she is the tour manager. And just by the way, if anybody wants me to come teach at your whatever, your school, at an event, something, Jenny's the one to talk to. Doesn't cost you anything to get on the list, so reach out to her. All right, August 12th is Baseball Fans Day. So, baseball jokes. Why does a pitcher raise one leg when he throws the ball? If he raised them both, he'd fall down. I don't know why, but that joke makes me think of Andrew. That seems like very much an Andrew style joke. A man leaves home, makes 3 left turns, and is on his way back home when he notices 2 men in masks waiting for him. Who are they? The catcher and the umpire. What did the baseball glove say to the ball? Catch you later. Did you hear the joke about the pop fly? Forget it. It's way over your head. What are the rules for zebra baseball? 3 stripes and you're out. I kept wondering why the baseball was getting bigger. Then it hit me. Nice. Thank you, Gad. What's a baseball player do when his eyesight starts to fail him? He takes a job as an umpire. That's a little bit inside baseball there. I like that. Why are baseball games at night? The bats sleep during the day. How do baseball players keep in touch? They touch base every once in a while. Why was Cinderella kicked off the baseball team? She ran away from the ball. Something to ponder. Why do we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" when we're already there? Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate it. And I got word that Frank rejoins us on Monday from his leave of absence. I get a sneeze. Excuse me. I'm back. So there's your humor for the day. And let's finish off with some conversation. This week, we've talked about solo training. We've talked about pairs training. We've talked about group training. Let's continue yesterday's theme from Martial Arts Radio. How about visual training? How about sitting in a chair? How about you're in a body cast in the hospital? What do you do? What are the things that you can do, whether we talked about them in yesterday's episode or not, that would, I'm not going to necessarily say help you progress, but there are ways, but I would say more keep your skills from deteriorating completely. Do you spend time, and this is where I want you to drop in the chat, do you do things like this? You know, if you're sitting down, if you're on a road trip, if you're wherever, how do you train non-physically? I want to know. Frank says visualization. What do you do? What are you visualizing? I think for a lot of people, the notion of taking a skill that they don't have, that they don't feel like they have down, right? So the idea, let's say, of doing a form, you know the form kind of well, but the idea of doing it without any movement is really hard. Try teaching someone a form without showing them. It's a good example. It's really tough. How do you describe those movements? Jenny says, full disclosure, I haven't listened to the episode yet. That's okay. But I mentally go through my forms and techniques all the time. And when you do that, are you thinking about anything specific? Are you thinking about, I need to work on these pieces, so I'm visualizing myself doing them correctly or with this improvement? Are you doing a complete set of them, kind of like a mental exercise? What are you doing? You know, honestly, for me, most of the time I spend thinking about martial arts comes from a couple places. One, it's thinking philosophically, which probably doesn't surprise anyone. But then there's another piece that might. Because I get the opportunity to talk to so many people and train with these people, what I have always believed is in a constant state of flux, right? Like my body of knowledge and beliefs for martial arts is constantly upended. And I'm okay with that. I think it's a good thing. But as I have new interpretation or new wonderings, I let those filter through training and teaching and forms and all of the other things. And I look for places where maybe it conflicts or it leads me in a different direction or it sparks a light bulb. Oh, that's what that instructor was trying to tell me back then. I've had a bunch of those. Not so much recently, but I've had a bunch of those. Anybody? I'm convinced you guys just like hearing me talk, which is weird. Growing up, nobody wanted to hear me talk. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to chime in on this. Otherwise, I'm going to start closing up the show. I think the mental side of martial arts, and not just the contemplation side, but the visualization side, the mental understanding of your own training and what it has and could look like is critical. If you talk to anybody who is successful at a high level, whether it's in athletics or not, they all have some visualization element to their training. Not everybody does it the same amount, and that's okay, but they all do it. And I think that's something we all need to be aware of. If a bunch of successful people are doing a thing, and that thing is similar to what we're trying to do, aka get better at moving our bodies in a certain way, it's probably something we should consider doing. Now, I've been in classes where I've had the instructor have us visualize before a drill or after a drill, and I think there's a lot of value in that. To have people sit down and see themselves sparring and sparring with this consideration or that, and then taking a few moments after to go back through and say, okay, I did this well, I didn't do that well. These are really valuable. And it's something for the instructors out there I would encourage you to consider doing. It doesn't have to take 5 minutes. It doesn't have to take 3 minutes. It can be 30 seconds. All right, everybody, close your eyes for 30 seconds. I want you to see yourself sparring, because we're about to spar. I want you to see yourself sparring with clean technique and successful defense and whatever you want them to work on. And then after, could be even after every round as part of breathing. All right, everybody, close your eyes, relax, and I want you to go back through that round you had with your partner in your mind and identify the things you did really well and maybe some of the things that you could work on. Okay. Jenny says, yes, sometimes I see myself correctly making a stance I have trouble with, or I focus on how to tell my body to correct something. I have enough meditation practice under my quote belt, haha, pun intended, to feel my body move without moving. That's great. Brian says, I've used my forms mentally to keep from passing out when getting shots. So yes, if I can't move, thinking about them until I can move again. Dennis says, my first reaction was meditation, but when Frank chimed in with visualization, I recalled all the times I sat on the train going to and from work, visualizing doing my katas, 1 and 3 step sparring, free sparring, etc. A very powerful tool. Thank you, Frank. And Mark says, I personally don't separate. You need the mind-body connection. Wholeheartedly agree. Gad says, I lie or sit, close my eyes and think of situations, attacks versus defense, etc., and have a quasi out-of-body experience where I look at it from different angles, rewind, slow down, etc. That is powerful, and I think that's something that is a tremendous goal, something I think we should all consider working on. So there we go. Good stuff. Thank you all. Thank you to everyone. Now remember, we've got a bunch of stuff at whistlekick.com. Some of it's free. Like the Flex program. It's completely free. What blows my mind is the number of people who want to get better at a thing, and they say they want to get better at a thing, but they're not willing to put in the effort. Now, how do I know they're not willing to put in the effort? I see how often we, quote, sell the Flex program, which is free. I know what's in that program because I built it. I know that it works. And I know that it takes about 10 minutes a day. Maybe it takes 15 when you're starting out and you're learning what some of the things are and you've got to look up a video or two. And I see the counts on how many people actually watch the videos and actually download or do the things on the back end. You can't get better at a thing, at a skill, by just buying something. It's not the Matrix. You're not a computer. You can't just plug something in and expect progress. You got to put in the time. There isn't a shortcut. I've given you the best shortcut you can on flexibility anyway. And of course, we've got the other training programs if you want to grab one of those or something else. Use the code FirstCup15 to save 15% on anything, like a buck. We've also got the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. We have our first ever Patreon exclusive live hangout Monday evening at 8:30. I think it's at 8:30. Maybe it's at 9. I don't remember. If you're in Patreon, you know. I'll check my calendar. Hold on. And that will be exclusive to Patreon members, no matter what level they're in at. 9. We're doing it at 9. Probably be 30 minutes, but we'll see how many people show up. So it's not too late if you want to get in for that. Patreon.com/whistlekick. And of course, we've got the family page, whistlekick.com/family. If you're family, you should be checking that page once a week, seeing all the things that we put in there. I put in something very personal this week. Some of you have looked at it. We are the only martial arts morning show, at least that I know of. And we go live 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Shout out to Stacy for watching on Twitch, trying to help us with our numbers over there. If you have a computer and a phone, you could watch from both and, help us with the Twitch numbers and still get the interaction over on Facebook, because I know that's where most of you are watching from. And we'll end right here. Jenny, I bet we all do this. Okay, raise your hand if you visualize defending yourself against someone who walked past you on the street as a way to practice all the time. I want to thank you all for coming by. I hope you have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you back here on Monday. Take care, everybody. Peace.